Best not miss. Let's go. Shout out to all of my people rocking with us early on. You know what it is. Shout out to all of my people. Oh, no, why TikTok keeps doing that? Listen, shout out to all of my people. You know I rock with you. Listen, we've submerged ourselves into the hot water, people. We submerged ourselves into the hot water. Tonight's show is gonna be kind of lit. Listen, I lost like 600 subscribers on TikTok, Instagram today. You know I don't care, right? So first off, I want to start off by saying this. I see where some of the extreme levels of disagreement is coming from, right? Even in the forms of racism and things like that. It's because a lot of me and you, we're not the same. You needed Charlie Kirk to be your hero. You needed his leadership. Me, on the other hand, I am my hero. I have my own information. I didn't need Charlie Kirk to inspire me. It's a tragedy that he died. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. If I could snap my finger and bring him back to life, I would. I looked forward to debating Charlie Kirk, right? I disagreed with some of his viewpoints and some of his takes as it pertains to the black community. Tonight's show is going to be lit. What I found out today, some people were saying things like, I didn't even know I had so many white subscribers on Instagram. I did not know. But what I was getting was a lot of shut up and dribble, right? I saw a lot of that. I liked your old content. This is not what it is, bro. You know what you liked? You like to see me hold. My content is primarily holding the African American community. Right. My content is primarily holding the African American community accountable for what we do. I didn't know I had so many white subscribers, and that's why they came to the channel. I think they like to see me, black women, black men. I lost about 600 subscribers today. Those of you who know me, we have what, around 79,000 right now? All I need is 5,000 to keep pushing my message out there, right? The thing about that is this. What you guys don't understand is we're still in America. This is still America, and still a lot has not changed, right? Some things have changed, but if we don't look at a white person's hero as our hero, you'll get demonized, right? I have my own heroes. I still think about Malcolm X, right? I don't have to have the same hero that you have. I didn't need Charlie Kirk or someone for me to follow. I'm my own hero. So it makes it easier for me to see his wrongdoings and hold him accountable when I believe he's gotten something wrong, right? A lot of you who are really butthurt, it's because you feel like your hero was attacked. I didn't attack Charlie Kirk. I stand on business. If I will go at black women and let them know when they're out of pocket, if I'll go at black men and let them know when they're out of pocket, I don't know what y'all think this is. Listen, I lost 600 subscribers today. I encourage everybody who does not find value in my content, dip. My content is only for a specific group of people anyway. My content is geared towards pushing people to do better, leveling up, right? Holding us accountable. So if it has you moving in your emotions, opposed to what I saw today was a lot of emotions. You didn't even stop to see, would you consider yourself a Christian? I love the teachings of Jesus Christ. And I'm going to say it again. I didn't need Charlie Kirk to inspire me. I didn't need him to be my hero. I'm my hero. Those of you who have been rocking with me for 3.5 years, you know I stand on business. I don't say something to appease somebody else. A lot of the comments that I got today, it's been a long time, but I saw racism full-fledged again. I didn't see it like I saw it today. I haven't seen it like that in a minute, right? People were telling me, you should go back to your old content. This ain't it, right? Even African Americans. I'm going to say this about African Americans. A lot of us are so entrenched in making sure that we are accepted and things like that, that we allow people to push their heroes up on us when we come from two different circumstances, right? The closest person that I associate with right now is an 80-year-old white man. We have drinks together. We rock heavy together, right? We're like family. I'm not that caliber of individual to where, because something makes you uncomfortable, you can sway me into saying things that you want me to say. You got the wrong. Listen, I lost 600 subscribers today out of 79,000. Anybody who feels like you come to my channel to hear things that make you feel good about wrongdoings and things like that, those of you who see my content, I hold black people accountable. So there's pretty much nobody else who gets a pass. The reason that I can see what I don't like about Charlie Kirk is because I don't need him to be my hero. A lot of you do need him to be your hero. So you feel like your hero was attacked because I oppose some of his views. So it has you moving in your emotions opposed to listening to see if you can detect anything that makes sense, right? There's two platforms of people on here. I challenge any of you to come up here right now and prove my views wrong, and I'll substantiate my points one after another to you, right? I think everybody knows by now, I don't just get up here and talk through emotion. I think everybody knows that. My information usually comes from a place, right? And with that said, I'm going to say this again. I think it was crazy that he lost his life, especially at the age of 31. I hope nobody condones that, right? If you're glad that he lost his life, you probably need to search yourself a little bit. Probably, I'm not glad anybody loses their life like that. Somebody who's not harming somebody else's life. But listen, I'm going to say it like this. Charlie Kirk regularly says that black people are 13% of the population, but responsible for the overwhelming majority of the unalivings and the arsons, right? I myself know that Charlie Kirk is way too intelligent. Listen, I know he's too intelligent to be standing on that. I believe he read about 100 books a year, right? Which would lead me to believe that he couldn't have just mistakenly put that bad information out there. The majority of kidnappings, majority of arsons come from the African American community. Look at this. Kidnapping and abduction by arrest. White offenders, approximately 56%. I'm not the type who I just get up there and listen to what anybody says. I don't do it. I don't let people tell me just anything. That's why, listen, a lot of the hate that was coming from my comments today, it's people who can't think for themselves. It's people who needed Charlie Kirk to lead them, to inspire them. They needed somebody to follow. They needed a hero. Listen. I am my hero. I don't need that. If you look at this right now, see, Charlie Kirk oftentimes would push statistics out there and knowing certain people aren't going to question it. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to believe everything that you say. Deifying the white community and demonizing the black community. We're all aware of the things that the black people need to work on. My whole show is predicated upon it, right? But there's not going to be any glossing over the things that are taking place in the white community just so you can make the white community look more pristine and more clean, and your regular talking points are about all of the things that the African American community is doing wrong. That's not how I move. Listen, I'm going to say this again. His regular talking points, African American people are 13% of the population. Yet they're responsible for most of the unalivings, most of the arsons, most of the kidnappings. This information right here says that that's wrong. Says that that's wrong. 2023 stats, the breakdown of arson arrests. White offenders, approximately 56%. 56%. Yeah, I agree with that. Listen, I want you guys to see what this brother just said. Dennis said, come spend a couple of days in my hood and we'll see what he's talking about. And no, ain't no white people taking our lives. We take each other out every day and even go outside. Can't even go outside without a, right? What do you think my entire show is dedicated towards every day? What do you think my show is dedicated towards every day? That's what we talk about on my show. I hold black men and black women accountable on my show. Everybody knows that. There's no secret about that. There's definitely no secret about that. But my thing is this. If you have that information, and I know Charlie Kirk was a smart individual, highly intelligent, so I don't know why he would push stats out. Listen, we already have enough on us. We take each other's lives at a disproportionate rate. You don't have to push arsons on us. You don't have to push kidnappings on us. That's not what we lead in, which would lead me to believe that He couldn't have just mistakenly put the majority of the kidnappers and arson crimes on the African American community without knowing that research suggests differently, right? So then I'm forced to believe that that was manipulation, that he did that intentionally. You can call it a mistake or whatever you want to. Some people said today that the clips I had on the video of Instagram, that they were taken out of context, what Charlie Kirk was saying. These weren't just clips. I watched the show. Listen, I watched those shows before I even saw the clips. I watched Charlie Kirk's content, right? I actually agree with a lot of the things, the stances that he has, such as taking babies to the clinic, the fetuses to the clinic, same-sex dealing, and views even on the DEI, the flaws in the DEI, right? But what I think a lot of you fail to understand is America was built on DEI. It was just called by another name. It's called nepotism, right? So all of the harsh analogies about unqualified black airline pilots, unqualified doctors, it's a common practice in America. Unqualified and even DRUG addicted sons have been giving positions that they weren't qualified for, and eventually even running the companies into the ground on some occasions, right? I think DEI, this is something we agree on. I think DEI was a bigger disservice to the African American community than anything, because it incentivized African Americans from having to push as hard as is required to reach the threshold of greatness, right? But here's my question. How can someone who has been benefiting from something almost identical to DEI, which is nepotism, how can someone who has been benefiting from it, practicing it since all of us have even been alive, be condemning it once African Americans start benefiting from it? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Another thing that I found quite disturbing, the list of shortcomings that take place in the white community substantially outweighs that of the black community, in my opinion. It goes on from insider trading, like Bernie Madoff did, who took a multitude of people's life savings, causing a lot of people to jump off of buildings, right? Statistics show 57 to 60% of all RAPESs that are committed in America are committed from the Caucasian society, community. 2023 stats show 59% of violent crimes are perpetrated by Caucasian Americans, right? 2023 stats show 72% of the child sexual abuse cases in America come from the white community, right? Per capita, which means making adjustments for how many more whites there are than blacks, blacks are 3 times more likely to lose their life at the hand of police than whites are. These are just facts. These are just facts. 56 to 60% of the kidnappings that take place in America are committed by white American community, right? And because of how large the numbers are, they're also responsible for 67% of the child abuse cases without the numbers being adjusted per capita, right? I'm going somewhere with this. Rock with me. I'm going somewhere with this. People were talking about hate because I have my own stance, right? Because I respect Charlie Kirk's intelligence. He's very intelligent. You can't force your hero to be my hero. I'm still clinging on to Malcolm X. Do you know the hate that I got down there? And do you know the hate? No, we're on 3 different platforms. I'm looking at this screen, and this screen. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Listen, that's what I found funny today when I looked in the comments of all of my I read some of the comments. It was almost like, hold dear to your heart who we hold dear to our heart. You don't believe that's crazy? You haven't seen any of my content? I don't move like that. I don't move to the beat of somebody else's drum. I have my own opinions. God gave me my own vision. I know the problems. Let me see something. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bring the racism down in the comments. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, it's been a minute since I saw it without the cloak on it, but I love it. And I'm going to tell some African Americans. Listen, I understand respecting Charlie Kirk because he is very intelligent. But just in case you revel him for a different reason, because I saw a lot of people that I believe were trying to impress people or be accepted. It's okay to be who you are. It really is. It's okay to see flaws in people. I heard some people said that nothing he said was ever wrong and that everything he said was factual. Listen, I can't say that. The late, great Kevin Samuels can't say that. That's foolish for anybody to say. We just showed 2 stats up here that where he was wrong. Now, I'm going to say this again. I don't think anybody should make fun of, I think the thing that was really unfortunate is he didn't get a chance to blossom. He didn't get a chance to blossom. He was 31 years old. I think that was really unfortunate. But I'm going to tell you some more racism that I saw. This was even on Fox News. They're saying that Democrats need to pay for this. What? I'm not a Democrat. But what? This is what I'm telling you. Because nothing significant happens, you guys look at it like racism has dissipated or something. What I have come to find out is it's a stay in your place. Right. Listen, nobody's right all of the time. I have had to be corrected by my brothers and sisters before. I don't tolerate anybody being deitized in front of me. Like, oh, that person is just so amazing. They don't do anything wrong. I was completely opposed to Charlie Kirk's entire stance as it pertains to the black community. I'm going to say it again. 56 to 60% of the kidnappings that take place in America are committed by white America. And because of how large the numbers are, they're also responsible for 67% of the child abuse cases. Now, that's without numbers being adjusted, right? White Americans are responsible for the majority of federal corruption cases in America. Now, my point is this. With all of that, my point is this. I challenge here's the issue that I had. I challenge any and everybody who's watching this right now. Go anywhere on the internet and find me instances where Charlie Kirk was equally on his content, as far as his content, where Charlie Kirk has equal the amount of content holding white America accountable for all of these atrocities that we just named, as he does have the content for holding black America accountable for all of the things taking place in black America. That's what I found astonishing. That's what I couldn't get over. Why would Charlie Kirk be overlooking all of these things that are taking place in the white community, but instead choosing to focus more on the things that are taking place in black America? Even to the tune of having regular talking points about the 13% in the crime rate in black America. These were his regular talking points. If he's being a just and fair man, let me tell you why Charlie Kirk would be more focused on what's taking place in the black community when all of the things that we just mentioned are taking place in the white community. I couldn't figure it out. Wouldn't you find that kind of intentional to be regularly on black communities' top about fatherless homes, which is a big issue? But we address that. I address that regularly on my show. How could you be addressing the topics of fatherless homes and things like that in the black community and overlooking the rapes, the child abuse cases, the high-level violence, the kidnappings taking place right in your own community? I was never able to make that make sense. The only conclusion that I was able to come to was he was probably intentionally demonizing the black community, withholding all of the things. Yeah, listen, somebody said he had script points. 100%. Listen, if you go to the interview where he lost his life, there's a guy, they interviewed him on TMZ today. And he was in line. Charlie Kirk has his team that walks through the line asking people what questions it is that they want to ask Charlie. That's cheating. That's cheating. So you get to pick anybody who says something that's pretty strong, you get to, or stands to be a strong debater, you can tell your team, I'm good on him. I don't want him up there. At the same time, bro, none of the black leaders spoke on those things. They upheld Planned Parenthood, which helped separate a lot of families. I get what you're saying, but the late, great Kevin Samuel spoke on that fluently. Fluently. And listen, what I'm saying to you is this. When the white community leads in kidnaps, leads in violence, leads in child molestation and things of that nature, right? Where is that content? That's what I want to know. Where's that content at? I want to see some of that. Equal or a little bit less amount. That's what I can't wrap my head around. Because if you just focus on what's taking place in the white community alone, that's definitely enough content to keep you going viral. Because we know, me, myself, I hold the black community to the fire every day because we want them to start doing better. Why didn't Charlie Kirk hold his race accountable for all of the above mentioned atrocities? Right? Only thing that I was able to come up with is because he didn't want to broadcast those things to make his race look as bad as our race looks when he demonizes us. If anybody else has a better answer, step up, let me know. Out of all of you on all of these platforms right now, we have 3 platforms going right now. Show me where Charlie Kirk was consistently critical towards the shortcomings in the white community, the rapes, right? The child molestations, all of these things, where he was consistently as critical to the white community as he was to the black community. Show me. Now, if you find that his critique on one side significantly outweighed the other, ask yourself why. Why could there be so much wrongdoing taking place in the white community as far as the rapes and the kidnaps and the child molestation and things? Just recently, 11-year-old girl was found to be pregnant by her stepdad. A GAY couple was just busted for the 2 children that they had adopted, was just busted for forcing them to regularly have sex with them. How can all of that be taking place in the white community? And for some reason, he doesn't find that interesting enough to speak out publicly. I don't understand that. But the things that are taking place in the black community are regular talking points of his. Somebody make it make sense for me. Anybody who disagrees with what I'm saying, you can even step up to the platform. You guys know that I do not get up here and talk without being able to substantiate my points. I don't allow people to make me look at their God like it's my God. I don't allow people to shame me for not holding their hero as my hero. I have my own heroes already. I have my own heroes. I don't need Charlie Kirk to be my hero. I respect what he did for us. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually believe Charlie Kirk was actually a really, really good man to the white community. I believe, as it pertains to the white community, he was what you would call a stand-up citizen. But I'm telling you, if you just pay attention, he didn't hold that same regard for the African American community. The things that he was saying, these are terrible things to repeat. They're terrible things to repeat. Martin Luther King has been dead, and you know how black people hold him. Somebody said is da-da-da-da. Listen, don't talk about it, Gerald. Bestiality. Why are none of these things talked about in his content? Anybody, we're fired up on 3 platforms right now. If you think that I'm wrong, come show me. I'll bring you up right now. Substantiate your points. I lost 600 followers today. Listen, you guys know I don't care about that. I lost 600 subscribers today on Instagram. I bet you none of them can come up here and prove what I said wrong. What about that? What about that? also because he was taken out by a white man in a riot. Let's talk about that white on white crime. See, I want to say this. All of the hate that I received in my comments today, all of the hate that I received, now that we found out that the suspect is white, is the white community going to receive that same degree of hate that I was receiving in my comments today? No. White community won't be talked about. None of it will be talked about. They won't be demonized. White on white crimes won't be talked about. Look at all of these school massacres and these church massacres. Have you noticed how quickly they're blown over? Even on my Facebook, listen, do you know how many people said, bro, I used to rock with you. I have to unfollow. I don't give a damn. This page wasn't for you then. If you can sit up and listen to me condemn African-American people day in and day out, even to the tune where I'm hurting some of my African-American sisters' feelings, but the moment I have a critique about Charlie Kirk, you have an issue, you shouldn't have been here in the first place.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Charlie was starting to get critical with the Israel link to Epstein recently, which posed a threat to the Israel since the white people, the whites are their strongest supporters. Not sure if that links up. I was told I don't want to put any smut on his name. If it's not something that I can prove, I'm not going to repeat it. But what I'm telling you guys is this, and I'm going to say this. Listen, talk about it. Let's talk about how long the Pope's been messing with these kids since we all been alive. Talk about that. How is it black, 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 black? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Listen, 1,000 apologies, people. I'm trying to look at Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, but it's all love. It's all love. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm intimately love. I believe in white supremacy. I believe anybody has the right to feel like that. I believe in racism, long as you don't put action behind it, right? But with that said, if you are a racist, stand on that business out in public. I don't know if Charlie Kirk was a racist, but here's what I do know. Whenever it came time for him to speak on African Americans, it was never anything that made me feel good. It was never anything that made me say, he genuinely is out for the best interest of the African American community is why he's saying these things. We all know love, true care, and concern when we hear it. It's very apparent to the ears. Because love, true care, and concern, it's authentic when occasionally you're also dropping tidbits of what's also decent about those people into the conversations. I don't get that often. I don't get that often. You will never hear me up here just not having anything good to say about African American women. Not having anything. You mean to tell me I can't find anything good to say about African American women? Nothing good to say about black men? We know I go hard on my race. But that does not negate the fact that we are beyond amazing. So anytime you can critique someone, but you can't find anything decent to say about them, that's an issue. It speaks volumes as well. It speaks volumes. Okay, talk that talk then, Hampton. I think there are better white martyrs than him, though. He was fighting for his own people's agenda. And listen, I'm not even knocking that. But stand on that. Listen, I got a lot of flack from African American people in my own comments. It's like they were really, really, really trying to be accepted, right? That's not how I move. That's not how I move. I stand on what's real and I speak it. If I can prove it, I'll stand on it. Listen, we've been doing this for 3.5 years. You guys should know that by now. Shout out to Jeremiah over here in this situation, rocking with us. Shout out to my brother, my day one ZF over here in this situation. Have you actually watched a lot of Charlie Kirk, or what Charlie Kirk said, or just the clips? I had views that were similar to his. I liked his intellect. But when it came down to the black community, listen, I agree with him on DEI, probably for the different reasons on him. I believe that DEI was bad for black people because it incentivizes black people to not keep pushing towards the threshold of real greatness where you earned those stripes, right? But at the same token, how can somebody who has benefited from nepotism all of their lives condemn people from benefiting African Americans when they start benefiting from DEI? For those of you who don't know what nepotism is, we know all of the businesses in America. There has been sons, nieces, daughters, and nephews who have been thrust into positions that they weren't qualified just because of their uncle or their auntie owned the corporation, right? That's DEI in a nutshell, people. If I'm not mistaken, it was AMP that was ruined because of that. This is what I'm saying. We got to stand on business. We got to be fair about, well, we don't have to be fair because we don't receive fair. Another big issue I take up with Charlie Kirk is he said he doesn't believe in white privilege. To me, I almost believe that anybody who makes a statement like that is either naive, ignorant, or they're full-blown racist. White people don't have to go through what black people have to go through. If I, myself, take any white person down there. They could be my age. We could have the same criminal background, right? We both get caught with that white powdery substance. Everybody knows that I'm going to get a different penalty than the white person is. They have laws behind this. So, that's another something that I took up issue with Charlie Kirk about. Listen, his stance on same-sex marriage and things like that, I agree with him on those things. I agree with him. I agree with Charlie Kirk on several of the things, but I think he was intentionally prejudiced against the black community. And I don't knock that, but stand on it. Stand on it. If that's the way you feel, stand on it, because as intelligent as Charlie Kirk is, you can't possibly have accidentally thought that black people lead in, you know what? Where is it at? Let me see something. Let's get it going then, people. Those of you who are on Instagram, you won't be able to see this, but you'll be able to hear it. You should be able to hear it.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Exactly.
So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders. They commit more arsons.
Okay, you heard it out of his mouth that blacks commit more arsons, right? I want to see what you guys think about this then. One of us has to be lying. Those of you who are on Instagram, I know you can't see it, but this is a uniform reporting program. Specifically, 56% of arsons coming from the Caucasian community. So as intelligent as he is, how could he get that wrong? But wait, there's more.
Commit more kidnappings.
Said we commit more kidnappings. One of us is wrong. This is 2023. One of us is wrong. I think that's bad. But let's go.
Example, blacks are 13% of the population and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Okay, let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population.
Yes,
about half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. But it makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates them? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison...
Hey, listen. Let's talk about what Baby said and the RAP cases in the military that go swept up under the rugs. Even the mutilations in the U.S. military That one Latino girl still hasn't gotten justice, I don't believe. Listen, how many of you guys saw inside of the hotel? This broke my heart. This was a white boy. This white boy was on the ground, on his belly, pleading for his life. Please don't take my life. Please, I'll do whatever you say. What was this, about 6 years ago? I guarantee you there's a ton of people down there who know what I'm talking about. Listen, if there's no such thing as white privilege, we all saw Rodney King was whooped, battered 56 times with billy clubs on camera. Officers acquitted. Officers acquitted. Amadeo Diallo was shot around 46 times. I think Amadeo Diallo was like 60 times. The brother Laquan, what's his name? Laquan something in Chicago. That was like 14 years ago. That man was like 20 feet away from all of the officers who had him circled. They hit that man like 25 times.
Population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly. So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word "so" is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Exactly. So blacks commit more crimes.
He's saying "so" as in therefore, as in one could conclude, but Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation, but he's hoping that you don't know that. So he deploys the word "so" to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion.
Exactly. So blacks.
Instead, he's making an illogical, racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about arrests and convictions.
Watch this,
I'll
people.
come back.
Check this out. Edric Newton said, "It's sad what folks will do to go viral. Bro, just go get a real job. Tired of these podcasts. I want all of you to see something real time right now. Edro, I challenge you to step to the plate right now and show everybody with your superior intellect what I have wrong." I'm dropping a link down in the comments right now. I'm willing to stand on my claims. Let's see if you are. Let's see if you're willing to stand on yours. Edric, let's go. The link's down in the chat. Listen, my bro ZF said they want us to feel something for somebody who doesn't like us. They always want more from us than they give. Listen, the only thing that people ask is what you push out about the black community. At least give a tidbit that's going on in the white community, because if you won't, that shows it's intentional. If you can't find anything wrong that your own community is doing, listen, I blast my community every day and everybody knows it because I want us to do better. I want to see better out of us. I want black men to get more serious about when you have a child with a woman. I don't care if she irritates you. You need to stay. I don't care if you haven't had a job most of the time in your life. You need to go get one now. You need to go over there and start spending time with that child, nurturing that child, giving that child the doses of masculine energy that that child needs to be receiving, because it's critical. You need to be telling that child as that child grows up about all of your experiences, what potholes not to step in that you've already stepped in. You need to be grooming that child, him or her, about dating. African American women, shut your fucking legs. If a man does not give you his last name, you should not be giving him a child. This is what I expect to see out of Charlie Kirk. Edric, where are you at? Or were you really just speaking out of emotion? Because I can, listen, people on here will tell you, I was setting things in motion so I could square off with Charlie Kirk one-on-one. I don't think the way to go about it is take his life or something like that. If you have an issue with him, go square off with him. We've had shows as early as 5 days ago where I told people those were my intentions. But from the information that's just now coming up, I wouldn't have gotten selected. Look, Scoob said facts. We don't have to agree with everything to respect each other's views. That's crazy that anybody would even think that. Modern black women do some of the most egregious shit that I have ever seen and are always offended and never ashamed, and no one holds them accountable. Miss Yolanda, have you seen my page? She said no one holds them accountable.
That data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments, something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
Blacks are 13% of the
Listen, hold on, let's talk about it. Miss 312 Raquel says, sir, blacks have to work 4 times as hard to only get hired as DEI opposed to the overqualified candidates. That's a fact. They have studies behind this. Yeah. Okay. Hampton over here snapping up in this situation. We're going to have to pause this for a minute. Hampton been putting that work in. How many times have I taught you guys this? Black people were made to be criminals when they took the skills from the schools in the 70s and introduced GUNs and crack in the 80s and 90s, which led to more crime in black males, thus jail. Listen, Hampton, shout out to Hampton over here in this situation, Snapton. These people on these platforms have everything that you just said memorized. We stand on it regularly. Listen, I want to say this to everybody. If we're going to talk, let's talk about it. Turbulence, people. A lot of black people are terrible as hell. Terrible as hell. Unbearable to be around. I can't stand a lot of black people. We do some really effed up stuff. And a large portion of it is coming by way of our women. When you see them on social media going in to get manis and petties, and then as soon as the person is done, they get up and run out. When you see them going into a professional beauty salon, when the woman is done cutting their hair, they jump up and run out. When you see the woman take her phone to get it repaired, once the man is done and he hands the phone to her so she can test it out, she takes off running, right? All of these babies, close to 70% of our women have multiple children by multiple different men. And the men, you would say, well, that's the men responsible too. No, the men who are so broken that they would move like this are men that our women gave birth to without fathers. So they're kind of messed up. Now, with that said, right before 1970, African Americans were married at an 80% rate. We were married at a higher ratio than white people were, right? So, are you to tell me that we woke up one day and said, you know what? Our family dynamic is intact. We're married at an 80% rate. The kids that we're producing are really good, coming out really good. We don't want that no more. Hey, let's all of a sudden stop taking care of our children, stop getting married. Do you think that's what happened? That's not what happened. We were intentionally tore apart. Listen, when our women were suckered in to the feminist movement and start accepting these gifts from the American government, they divorced black men and married the American government. If you want to know who a woman belongs to, look no further than who pays her rent. Look no further than who provides her groceries, right? Look no further than who provides her protection. What have we been hearing from African American women for the last 5 decades? I wish you would. I'll call your black ass to be in jail. Who pays their rent? Section 8. Where did they get their food from? Food stamps. That's what one of the major components was. But another major component was the 1980s crack epidemic. That thing did around 80% of the damage that you see in the black community today. It's not even over. The after effects of the black community, of the after effects of the crack epidemic still live in us. I don't care if it wasn't your mom. It was your mom's sister. It's still in us. It birthed an entire one gigantic neighborhood that we are all familiar with, where a lot of dysfunction takes place. Listen, not only that, it was the most addictive substance that we had ever come into contact with. They pipelined it directly into the black communities. And then once we touched it, it took school teachers, it took librarians, it took engineers and turned them into walking, living zombies. It replaced our mothers and our fathers with zombies. But let's go a step further. Not only did it do that, when we got caught touching it, our mothers and fathers received 50 and 80 years in prison for touching something the size of 2 pellets. Yes, we have a lot of messed up kids. And yes, it's due to them not being raised with the father. But you guys did a hell of a thing snatching those mothers and fathers out of those homes. The reason that we know that that's true, listen, the reason that we know that that's true, around 15 years ago, when the opioid epidemic hit the white community, because they saw what would happen when you pump a highly addictive substance into a community and the people get addicted to it. And not only that, whenever the people touch it, you give them large amounts of time. They saw what it does to communities. It dismantles communities instantly. So what did they do 15 years ago when the opioid epidemic hit the white community? They decriminalized it pretty much. And now, whereas with crack, it was a crime that was punishable by up to 50 to 100, 200 years, depending on how much you sold, right? When the opioid epidemic hit the white community, all of a sudden it's a health issue. Now these people need help, things of that nature. That right there lets you know that they knew what was going on and they didn't want it to happen to their community. So those of you who, yes, we do a lot of stupid stuff. We do a lot of broken human being things. I agree with you. Just know that we had some help getting this way. ZF.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Prince?
Man, you know everything is love, man. How you feeling?
Man, I told you, I'm over here dancing underwater without getting wet.
My bro, talk good to me.
Nah, I just think I really think it's curious. That's a good word, curious. That people expect sympathy and empathy for a man who did not have any, number one, but also the people who expect this don't give it.
Right. Hey, let
Because
me interrupt you really
because
quick, brother. Let me interrupt you really quick. I just saw this. This African American woman, man, said, "Don't speak about Charlie Kirk. That's disrespectful. Black men do commit more crimes. I live in Chicago, so don't speak about Charlie Kirk." If I'm not
does she know
mistaken,
Chicago ain't the whole country?
listen, it doesn't even matter. We should be able to speak on anybody who we see. Is it true or false that I just posted those stats that he was inaccurate about? See, this is what I'm telling you about the thinking. That's what I'm telling you about this thinking. But go ahead, brother. My apologies.
No, that's all good. Um, I just like, okay, look where the man got took that bullet. You know what I mean? Look where he was on a college campus in Utah. Uh, but their response was to threaten HBCUs. Now
Right.
it's all a 22 black folks in Utah, and 9 of them play for the Jazz. So what kind of response is that? Tell me
Right.
how now I was here. I was on the show last night where all these motherfuckers was calling us racist, me and you.
Yeah.
How is that not racist that you gonna sit there and threaten campuses in the South, in Virginia,
When it was a
in
white on
Louisiana?
white
No,
crime.
knowing them, no, not only that, but knowing those kids on those college campuses weren't there. It wasn't them. But you gonna threaten innocent people? All right, bro. Like, tell me how that's not racist.
Listen, ZF, listen to this. This woman said, "You sound like Dr. Umar, not holding black women accountable for their foolishness. The man is DEAD and you're still talking about him." Fuck out of here. That's a black woman, bro. Listen, check this out.
Has
Wasn't
she
it
ever watched the fucking show?
right? Right. Black women say I'm on their tops too tough, don't they? But listen, check this out. She said the man is dead. Fuck out of here. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm just asking you because I'm not sure. Isn't Martin Luther King dead?
Last time I checked.
Didn't Charlie Kirk just recently say that Justice Clarence Thomas is more worthy of being a mentor than Martin Luther King?
Well, not only that, it gets worse. In that same breath, he said Thomas Sowell was a better greater man than Martin Luther King Jr.
And Martin Luther King is
Motherfucker,
dead.
how? I'm just saying, motherfucker, how? Make that shit make sense. This dude wrote a couple of books, uh, basically trying to put white people at ease about himself, not us. Himself. He wasn't telling them nothing about us that we didn't already know. He's making us look bad so they can feel comfortable, and he's a greater man than
100%.
Martin Luther King Jr.
100%. Listen, hold on. Let me say this, ZF. Do you know how disrespectful it is to attempt to tell black people who their hero should be? That's crazy. Listen, everybody knows how we feel about Martin Luther King. And you take it up on yourself. Just a couple of days before, or however long it was, you take it up on yourself to tell us Clarence Thomas was a better man than Martin Luther King. That's a hell of a statement to make, man, about a dead man. But you got this woman down here saying the man is dead and you're still talking about him. Fuck out of here.
So here's the
This
thing,
is
though.
that mindset, brother.
Here's
That's the mindset.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. We don't care what the fuck you think. Fuck out of here.
He don't know.
What's my motherfucking name? Like Snoop. What's my motherfucking name?
Come on, man. Give zero fucks.
Nah, one. I don't give a fraction of a fuck, lady. I don't. Who the
Listen,
fuck is you anyway?
listen. Black people should be accountable to each other, but we will
Then
never
what the
come
fuck is
together
Charlie?
unless we get the treatment had in 1950s. Right? Right? I agree with that. Listen, somebody just said Nigger. Listen, that means nothing to
Say
us.
that shit to my face, and I bet you lose teeth.
It won't. You won't.
See, this is why I don't even give a fuck about these online raggedy ass, coward ass motherfuckers, because they would not say that shit in swinging distance. Because when you wake up, you're gonna have extra holes in your mouth. Fuck you mean? You're gonna wake up looking like a hockey player in this bitch.
Listen, you see what I'm saying? Comes on a black feed and says nigger. Well, not a black feed, but having
400
a
years
black
and that's
discussion with a black host.
See, this is why I say racists are stupid. 400 years and that's still the best insult you got. You dumb motherfucker, you.
Black people make more most of the mass shootings. Your culture is poisonous to this nation. You need to be removed from North America. Okay.
Come
Now,
get me, bitch.
I'm not a racist type of individual, but I'm going to say this to you. Speaking of removed from the nation, I advise that you go look at the current stats on the death to birth ratio currently right now in the white community.
No, fuck that. Come get me.
Just let go
You
and
want
let
me
it
gone?
happen.
Come get me.
Just let go and let it happen. This type of hate,
And what?
listen, hold on. This type
Nah,
of hate, it will not be here in the next 30 years. Believe it. And there's
no,
nothing
we
you
gonna
can do
breed it
about
out.
it. There's nothing you can do
We gonna
about it.
breed it out. We gonna be your in-laws, bitch. Here's the thing, Stacey. Motherfuckers like to talk shit and talk tough, right? But whoever you send my way, and I mean whoever you send my way, make sure you say your goodbyes because you're never gonna see him again.
Man, you're not
And if they ain't,
gonna
And if they ain't at peace with God, they better patch it up for real.
This is like a look at this mentality. You're taking it in, shove it right up your ass, maybe. Do you understand that? Listen, you're giving us a glimpse on the spaghetti that's taking place inside of your mind.
You smooth brain motherfucker, man, shut your dumb ass up.
I want to show everybody something. I want to show everybody something. They call us animals and things, right? Have you ever seen black people go on platforms moving like this? No. It's not who we are. We're typically decent people.
It's just a bunch of weirdos that ain't gonna do shit. You probably fat, no, you probably fat, make poverty wages, and live in a single wide because you can't afford a double wide. You broke bitch. I spend your yearly salary on baseball tickets. Fuck out of here.
Said, I'm curious, Mr. Prince. Do you believe Jesus died so that you could live? I believe fully in the teachings of Jesus, but I don't believe that he had blue eyes and all of that stuff, just based on his geographic location.
Well, based on the Bible, if you actually read the motherfucker,
Look,
if you actually read the Bible,
he said, hope you all die from sickle cell. Listen, just look at it
ain't
like
got it,
this.
bitch.
You need to look up the stats.
Don't have it. Next.
I'm not even. I get there. I got some white people who are really close, and I'm not gonna get disrespectful with him. You know what I mean, far as racist stuff. But you know, that's the type of person, man, that if he saw you walking down the street, he'd cross the other side. Nah, black people aren't decent when we include the women, bro. They embarrass us. Black men might conduct well, but no, hey, we stand on that. We talk about that on the show regularly. Black women are beyond out of pocket. Beyond out of pocket.
Facts.
On a
And
crazy
some of
level.
us are too. Some of us are too. I don't give a fuck. I correct men just as much as I correct women. You know that.
100%.
But but okay, tell us something we didn't know. You know what I mean? Like if you're new to the show, you're new to the show. I understand it. But don't criticize the show if you're new to the show because you don't know nothing about it to criticize. All you know is this episode right here where we're talking about one
Got up under your
one dead
little
and
poo
gone
poo.
white dude. Now you in your feels. Well, look here. I really don't believe that Charlie Kirk should have lost his life. No one should have tried to take his life. No one should have assaulted him.
K
But
Gilly.
at the same time, at the same time, I'll be damned if I give a fuck.
That's real. Listen, I got I think 79,000 subscribers on Instagram. I think what people don't understand about me, bro, is I would rather have a legit 10,000 who are on the same page, man. Those numbers mean nothing.
Absolutely.
Those numbers mean nothing. We're talking about a message that can get executed. We're talking about doing better. See, here's what I found out today, ZF. Here's what I found out. They said it. They said it. I had a lot of people on the comments. Bro, you should get back to your old content, bro. I like that better. This ain't it. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. So basically, you like it when I'm pinning black men and black women to the cross, but the moment I critique a white person, it's foul ball. That's crazy. That's listen.
Well, look here, Stacey.
I had black people saying it. Black content creators who got
Yeah,
names.
yeah. But check this out, Stacey. The city I live in is 9% black. That's it. None. Majority white. I see the shortcomings of white people every day and don't speak about it because one, I don't think it's my place. And I'm not
Right,
going to use
hundred
this as
percent,
ammo.
100%, man. Until
And I'm
you
not
do
going to use it
something
as
that affect
ammo.
me, it ain't my place. So that's why I don't understand why Charlie Kirk. Listen, if you show me something that Charlie Kirk has donated to the black community, or show me somewhere where he was really concerned about us, man, then I'll change my opinion, man. But anything other
Right.
than that, man, all I heard was criticism. That's all I heard.
He just used it for ammo to make white people feel better about themselves. And honestly, he's the prime example. I mean, one of the best examples of white mediocrity. All he did, he's a junior college dropout, and all he did was sit there and argue with kids at the big age of 31, with kids who didn't have time to prepare
I didn't
because
like that
they're in
either,
college
bro.
learning shit.
I didn't like that either, bro. Because I used to ask myself, you've heard me say it so many times on several of these shows, like, how come there's not many adults that he rocks with? I don't understand
Oh, a
that. How
grown
come I
man
don't
is
see none of them? A grown man is gonna have that
right.
intellect where it need to be.
A grown man can outsmart a kid. So the fuck what? Like his whole platform was basically, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Man, fuck out of here.
Listen, I put it like this, man. I'm kind of astounded that black people are supposed to continue to receive condemnation, constructive criticism, and not even constructive criticism, awareness of our shortcomings. But listen, even black people are so messed up. Black people have gotten so messed up that they were in the comments like, yeah, bro, this ain't it, man. Charlie was a good man in this. Listen, I started my message out by saying, by no means do I rejoice that this man lost his life. It's especially at the age of 31 when he had so much more life ahead of him. But listen, black people, there's a lot of black people who desire so badly to be accepted and to not rock the boat in the midst of white society, to where they would do anything to let it be known that my beliefs are your beliefs. That's not the way to live life. That's not the way to stand on business. What do you have on the
This is a
inside of you? Stand on whatever is on the inside of you. Listen, I don't knock anybody who was a super huge Charlie Kirk fan. I was a fan of some of his logic. I was a fan of how smart he was. I was a fan of how
man, he wasn't that smart.
he was.
He just wasn't done.
He was intelligent. He was very intelligent. I think he read over 100 books a year. I'm super fan of stuff like that. I love stuff like that, right? But that forces, when we can see all of these things about you worthy of compliments, it forces us to look at the thing. It forces us to see the shortcomings. Like, man, why are you always on the black community? And it sounds racist. It sounds bad. There's never anything. Look, call LeBron James dumb. Do you know that LeBron James put an entire team together and assembled them, made up of his childhood friends, man? One of them right now is going on to broker the biggest deals in the NBA, man. Do you
Right.
who is that?
His childhood Maverick.
Put him through
Maverick Carter.
college. Put
His
three
best
of them
friend.
through college and turned them into his team.
Yeah, nah, his best friend, his best friend growing up, he turned him into a mogul.
Yeah, for real, man. And here's my thing. What warrants calling LeBron James dumb? What warrants it? That's what I want to know.
Flopping.
What warrants
Nah, you
it?
know what I mean? I just say that because I'm a Laker fan and not a LeBron fan, and I didn't want him on my favorite team to begin with. But listen,
Somebody said
anytime,
college doesn't equal competency. That's what he proved, that the college systems are failing students. Bro just called them fifth graders. Okay, so see, this proves that we damned if we do and we damned if we don't. LeBron escaped all of the statistic that Charlie Kirk talks about, the taking each other's lives, the being in the streets doing drugs, the having kids with a, but even that's not good enough. The man made it to the NBA. He's built school. See, there's no way that black people can win, man. There's just no way.
absolutely not. That's why we shouldn't try to play the fucking game.
That's crazy.
See, see,
Listen, so Keen
I was
said
taught
college
I was,
doesn't equal competence. Listen, he's not in prison.
and
He
that's a
hasn't
fact.
taken anybody's life, and he hasn't put himself in any predicaments. He's a contribution to society. He's built a school. He's contributed, and look at his children. My gosh,
And he's
it's
sending
like we
he's
have to
sending
be
black kids that
Jesuses.
aren't his to college,
Yes,
paid for by him.
this is crazy, man. Now, I want
He's
everybody to
literally
see
doing
this.
something about the problem and still getting criticism. This is why I say we shouldn't even play the game
Perfect
because we know
example.
the rules. We know the rules. We know we can't win. So why the fuck are we trying to play the game?
Perfect example.
When I was young, right? My uncle, uh, all right, may he rest in peace. He always taught me always know the rules of the game before you play, and if you can't win, don't play.
Yep.
It's that simple. But yeah, college does not equal competency.
It
That's
doesn't
common
matter,
knowledge.
man. The
There's a
man's not in prison and he's not out there gang banging, man. Jeez.
right, right. But I'm just saying. So, like, dude just spit some common knowledge bullshit like he was being deep, bro. We know college don't equal competency. Like, so the fuck what? But for basically all he did was take Fresh and Fit's formula and put it on a college campus. Fresh and Fit, they sit there and argue with with girls, little girls, 19-year-old, 18-year-old girls, and argue with them knowing they're not equipped to win. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's really messed up too, man. That to me, that's a form of statutory. Like that's how I view that, man. Because that's why statutory rape is what it is. They're saying that this kid is at the age where you can seduce their minds, and I think that's what Fresh and Fit and them do. Like, man, they Fresh and Fit, man, them they get girls on that show who are 19 and 23, and they call them bitches and stuff. Any man who can function in that capacity, man, that's not really a man, man. These are somebody's
Honestly,
daughters, and you calling them bitches and hoes and
right? Absolutely. I agree with you. But honestly, I say those girls are smarter than him because most of those girls got a little OF page or
hold
whatever,
on.
and
I
they
want
do
I
it to
want
get
King to come up here.
their subscriptions up. They leave with more subscriptions
Hey King, come
than
on
they
up
came
here.
with. They leave with more subscribers than they came with and make money off of it. You know what I'm saying? Fresh and Fit, yeah, they get a couple bucks, but they sitting there trying to make those girls look dumb, and the girls are using them to get more money.
Yeah, I think that's crazy too. Listen, somebody said I don't approve of Fresh and Fit, but they argued with all levels. Don't be disingenuous.
I don't even know if my joints work. You hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, good brother?
What's up? Can you hear me? Because my shit is damaged.
Yeah, I can hear you. You said Fresh and Fit argued with what?
They argue at all levels, right? They had college educators on there before. I mean, a lot of times you're gonna have bimbos as well because a lot of them flock to the attention of embarrassing themselves. That's almost like the whatever podcast.
I gotta
But
I gotta
either
ask you this though, bro. I gotta ask you this.
yeah,
Do you support how they talk to these young girls, man?
do I support who talks to who?
Do you
Rest of it.
support how Fresh and Fit call these young girls 19 and 22 and 23-year-old girls bitches and hoes?
No, I don't support when we call bees and honey.
Okay,
But
so what good is being what good
hold
is
on.
hold on. You said the money
When I
and
come
all of that, the money and their ability to intellectually debate with people. What good is that if you're a shitty human being, man?
Well, here's the thing. You're coming from a narrative as if they're crappy human beings without the context of both sides.
Bro, I used to
So
watch Fresh and Fit religiously until I started feeling like a pedo. What are you talking
right,
about?
I wouldn't call it that, but that's a little far. But I can understand
Oh
what
my
you're
god.
coming from, the disrespect, because for one, there are times where I've seen them outright disrespect certain girls and whatnot, or having fun and whatnot. But the majority of times I'm watching on there, it's takes that Myron guys makes, which are usually intelligent, where he's not being belligerent, and then the comebacks and the disingenuousness from the females on those podcasts.
So
And
why
that's the,
bring women like that on there, brother? That's what I don't understand.
hold on, bro. You let me finish real
Well,
quick.
you gotta be you can't just be so long winded either, good brother.
Not that long winded. You've seen I was finishing. Don't be disingenuous, bro.
But hold on, you can't come up here telling me how to run my.
I'm
Yes.
not telling you how to run your platform. I'm just talking in general. Don't be disingenuous. Come on now. Now check this out. You see that those takes happen on your show with Kevin Samuels on whatever podcast, all different kinds of degrees and education levels, the same low IQ takes and comebacks from these ladies when it comes to relationships. That's why we don't take relationship advice from them. You get what I'm saying?
So if you
The
don't
question,
take relationship advice from Fresh and Fit, why do you watch them?
bro, say what? I'm talking about the woman, bro. I said that's why we don't take relationship advice from women in general. My example is you look at podcasts like that, like yours, like Kevin's, like numerous men's, and we have the ladies coming on giving their IQ and their input on relationships, and they generally be the same bad take across the
What do you
board.
mean when you keep saying bad take? I don't understand what you mean when you're saying that.
I'm talking about when they're interviewing women, they usually talk about relationships, right? Right?
Yeah.
All this stuff, right? The women get their take and their input, and the guys get their take. And usually, what happens? Usually, the woman don't like the man's take, and they get disrespectful, like they do to you, like they do to
No,
Kevin, like
that's
they
not. No, that's not true. Do you know what the Frank Castle is?
when they take the girls out, stuff like
So
that.
if there's a thing that exists called the Frank Castle, where this is the time that we use this thing to kick a woman off the show, do you agree that that has to be kind of premeditated? That you're kind of eager to use that thing?
No, I agree. That's a standard put in place.
Okay, listen. Let's hold on. Let's do it like this. Tell me
Wait,
how old you
wait,
are. Tell
hold.
me how old you are.
Let
Go ahead.
Tell me how old you are.
I'm 33.
Okay, now let's be honest, because we're gonna get somewhere with this right away. Throughout your life, have you done well with attractive women?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's what I don't understand. Like me and my guys, we were the guys that the women chased in school and even after school. So that's why I was no longer able to watch Fresh and Fit. Because the caliber of man that I am, I know for a fact what they struggle with. They struggle with being accepted. Both of these people, listen, Fresh doesn't even have an identity of his own. He is only there because of Myron's intellect. What I'm telling you is, I find it almost impossible to believe that anyone, a confident, assertive man who does well with women, could watch Fresh and Fit.
Well,
hey,
I
Stacey, hold on, real quick. Hold on, real quick.
Hold on, bro.
So,
Hold on, Zia. What's your response to that?
no, I
You
was
believe
saying,
any man who does well with women can sit there and watch two guys who don't do well with women?
well, I wouldn't make that black and white because most men are average. States. Let's be honest. We might not be average, but most men are average, right? So average men are going to do horrible women, especially in
Not the
Western
average
culture.
man in the black community, brother. Black men are the most desired group of men on the planet, and it's because of the dysfunction that they embody. Dysfunction can mimic masculinity, and women are like magnets attracted to masculinity. Unfortunately, what they're seeing is not high levels of masculinity, it's the dysfunction that comes from being raised in tough circumstances. That's why the large percent of the children in the black community were created by a smaller number of black men. The black women are sleeping with the same black men. The Kardashians. Look around you. There's not black men get played just for being black typically, man. We can't hear what you're saying. We can't hear what you're saying.
so okay. So check this out, Stacey. Check this out. This man is saying, now, mind you, a lot of the relationship takes from women on Fresh and Fit were horrible, but he'd rather take that from a guy whose first relationship wasn't till his mid-30s.
And then she left him. Listen, okay, my brother
Right.
just made up a good point. I want to ask you this, brother. I want to ask you this. Are you hold on? Are you familiar with the last relationship that Myron was just in?
I've seen something about it. I'm not too familiar with it. I've seen something about the girl left him or went with somebody else.
Yes. Michael, she was very attractive too. I want to ask you said you do well with women. I got to ask you this. Do you believe that if Myron didn't have money, he could bag attractive women?
Not in the United States.
He has money and he just lost one.
Bro, I'm not taking advice. I'm not taking advice from nobody. We always talk about women with weave and wigs and all this shit. I ain't taking advice from nobody with hair implants. Motherfuckers shave your head.
Here's the thing. Here's what we're painting the narrative right now. This is what happens too much on a lot of black channels. I never said I took advice from him, for one. And that other
You've been championing them pretty strong.
Not in the comment section, I said I only bang with Fresh and Fit like talks about. And I said a point. So that's not champ. That's being disingenuous. We got to be sincere.
Listen, brother, let me ask you something. Did you just learn that word disingenuous? You use it quite often.
Are you trying to belittle me, brother? Another black brother? Is that what you're trying to do?
Brother, I'm telling you, you use that word a lot.
Because I'm very conscious of my words.
Brother, listen to me. I'm telling you, you have used that word a lot in the short time that you've been up here. Maybe switch it up because it may seem maybe you're not.
I think you're doing it a lot.
So I'm being disingenuous a lot. Could you name the things I'm being disingenuous about?
Well, for the fact that brother and yourself painting a narrative as if I looked at a champion this guy. I never indicated I did.
Brother, that's why you're up here. Because of the things you were saying in the comment section.
You're the one up here pole jocking.
Bro. I was talking about college and education doesn't equal competency. I said LeBron does have some silly takes. I said some other stuff, bro.
I pulled you up here when you started. You went back and forth with me a couple times about Fresh and Fit. Listen, who do you admire? Who do you admire?
I said one message about Fresh and Fit. Now I'm up here. Come on now.
Who do you admire?
And that's the message that got you up here. We actually agree with you about the college thing, but hey, I tell Fresh and Fit a new. First of all, you a black dude.
Hey, brother, something's wrong with your phone, man. Something's wrong with your phone, bad, man.
Man, first of all, you a black dude who jumps online and listens to a cop give advice.
Bro, see, there he goes. That's why I'm talking about being disingenuous, Stacey. I'm talking about him mainly because guess what? I never said I listen to a cop give advice.
Okay, so listen. Okay,
that's what they do on their show. They give advice.
Hampton been down there snapping. Oh, listen, but I asked you this, brother. Who do you admire? Who do you keep at the forefront of your mind that you really respect, dead or alive? Who is it?
I admire people who seek the truth despite their bias.
Brother, I'm asking, who is it? Who is it? Is it Martin Luther King? Who is it? I'm asking you a direct question.
Right now, I'm not able to pinpoint the different people I admire. I admire a lot of
So
people.
you don't know who you've always looked up to as a mentor or admired or got good information from by reading their books?
How about this? Who do you admire, sir?
Well,
Marcus
I hold a great deal of admiration for Malcolm X. I hold a great deal of respect for the late great Kevin Samuels. I hold a great deal of respect for Byron Allen. There's several people, brother.
Gotcha. So,
Napoleon Hill.
What'd you say?
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill.
Robert Greene. 50 Cent. Not the rapper aspect of him, the business mogul aspect of him.
Yeah, the rapper aspect is pretty funny. He does good businessman stuff. But think Kevin Samuel, Jeff Sterling, Medium Man.
Hey, bro, your connection. I can't do this, man. Your phone, but I appreciate you coming up, man.
You hear me now?
Yeah, man. What's up with your phone, man?
I told you I done dropped this damn thing. And so I got it sitting up forward and talking to you right now. So
but listen, let me ask you this, man. Would you want your daughter to go on Fresh and Fit show?
No.
Okay, man. That's all I was getting to, brother.
No, I think like this. When it comes, that's what I was saying. When it comes to that show, they do make some good points. I'm not going to keep them down there completely, but they were some good points. And they didn't have
Hey, bro. I can't. Your thing is pretty bad. I appreciate you from coming up, though, man. Listen. Unc said 50 Cent does have a great business mind. Listen, Unc, I challenge anybody to go get the 50th Power. It was co-written by Robert Greene, the 48 Laws of Power. That book is nuts.
It's a good book.
That book is nuts.
That's a damn good book. Hey, but no,
They
I
said he
just came
sound like
in
he
to.
underwater.
No, he sound like Mush Mouth from the Cosby Kids. Oh, but be fat, but Albert.
Listen, I want to say this to everybody. I want to say this to everybody. Some of you may have not heard this before. You don't have to march to the beat of other people's drum. I understand this. I really do understand the desire to get along with, I'll just put it like this. A lot of people in the comments today, there was a lot of hate in my comments, right? But guess what I was seeing a lot of, ZF? Charlie Kirk has the freedom of speech and did. But what happened to mines? You see what I'm saying? That's the issue that I have. You're preaching in 1 minute, bro, why are you saying that? Charlie Kirk has the right to freedom of speech, but you're condemning me for expressing mine. So the question becomes, this thing that we call freedom of speech, is it real or is it theory? What is it? What I want to tell you
Well,
guys is
first of
this.
all, yeah, it's
Hold
theory.
on, ZF. I want
Let's
to
keep
tell
it a
you
book.
guys this. You guys don't have to merge yourselves with people to make them feel like you're not one of the bad blacks and things like that. I saw a lot of that today. Listen, those of you who don't have your own identity yet, I'm not knocking you for that. People go through those things. Read books, right? I would highly encourage men and women who have developmental issues and they still have some breakage in them. There's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to get that book. And it doesn't matter what age you start at. Because listen, those of us who have breakage in us, in order to start developing our own opinions, we have to learn to be confident with who we are. A lot of people are out in the business of impressing other races of people. You're not supposed to live life like that. You're supposed to be able to hear something that doesn't sound right to your ears and be willing to stand up and say, nah, that doesn't make sense to me. Because what I'm telling you guys right now, yeah, I agree. Freedom of speech is definitely theory. What I'm telling you guys right now is this. You see how I stand firm on my messages. There's probably 76, I don't know. I don't care how many people I lost on social media. I don't care. My mission and my agenda and my vision is much more larger than this, right? It's much more larger than this. But I don't want you guys to be compromising who you really are or who you're going to turn into because you're trying to convince people of other races that I'm not one of the bad ones. I can be accepted by you and things like that. Develop your own opinions. If you can substantiate, if you can disprove anything that I've said today, I'll bring you up here right now. And that's me letting you know that I have my own mind. I have my own ideologies. I have my own viewpoints, and I'm willing to stand on them. Maybe you may not be good at articulating and things like that, but at least still be willing to stand up and let people know why you feel the way you feel about an opinion that you have. You don't have to say, yeah, that was wrong, bro. That man is dead. Charlie Kirk himself just got done speaking on Martin Luther King, and that man is dead. And he is beloved by a lot of people in the black community. I don't know what it is that makes you guys do this. It's like the need to be accepted and things like that. A lot of you are so scared of violence to where you pretend like you don't see things that are really taking place because you know the things that you just saw warrant a call for action, but black people are not prone for calls to action, which is why African American men, the coward that a lot of them are, will stand there and we'll see a black man or a black woman getting accosted by the police, elbowed in the face, and all types of things like that. But we'll stand across the street saying, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up, man. Fuck the police. But I've seen a white man. I saw a white bald man. A lot of you probably saw this clip a couple of years ago. Police were beating up a black man while he was already handcuffed. The white man busted through the crowd, bald white man busted through the crowd, went over there and jumped on the police. African Americans lack heart, man. You guys are scared of any type of aggression, which is why we allow so many things to take place. You got to learn how to develop some heart, and you got to teach that stuff to your children. I'm not talking about hate. I'm not teaching hate. I'm telling you, I don't disagree with how white people live their lives. They don't take shit, and they'll stand up and they'll speak out. If you say something about somebody they love, they'll speak out against it, but you don't have it in you to do the same. There's nothing wrong with you telling somebody, listen, I hold Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or whoever in higher regard than I hold Charlie Kirk. You don't have to, just because some of these people are your followers. The person who I have a drink with more than anybody is a white man. It's been that way for the last 10 years. And there's nobody that can attempt to put their hands on him around me. Nobody. No matter what color. Nobody. This is a man who's very dear to my heart. Right? And I still maintain the dignity to where I still won't let anybody compromise who I am as a black man. I'm not ashamed that I'm black. That is a superpower. So no matter who I'm around, I'm not going to compromise who I am and my integrity so they won't look at me any different than I hope that they view me as. That's why black people, when we get $20,000, we'll go spend $15,000 of it on a car. We'll go spend $1,000 on a necklace. We suffer from low self-esteem and a high level desire to be accepted. You guys got to break that. Voice your opinions. Stand firm on that stuff. You think Malcolm X didn't know he was going to lose his life? He walked into that with a type of courage. That's what a lot of us are lacking. Courage. You guys need to be able to acknowledge this. You need to be able to acknowledge that a white man took another white man's life, and a lot of white society still wanted to hold black people accountable for that. You familiar with all of these HBCUs that just got these bomb threats? Because a white man took another white man's life. That's them letting you know that they wish this was the big one. They wish this was the one that they've been waiting on. They wish that this was a black person who had done this so they could go ahead and initiate a race war. Of course, not all blacks. Of course, not all blacks. But what I'm telling you is you guys got to learn how to stand on integrity. Just because you got X amount of followers who of a different race on your page, or because whoever it is you think see you, or whatever friend you don't want to lose, stand on business, stand on who you are, because they do. And I admire that about white people. They won't bend for you. The people they hold dear to their heart, the people that they believe are heroes, they stand on that. Look how they're going about Charlie Kirk. Why can't you do the same thing? If you genuinely love Charlie Kirk, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying if you hear sound information, and just because there's a lot of white people on the thread, you don't want to rock the boat, so you say something like, come on, bro, that was uncalled for. What was uncalled for? The first 10 seconds of my video was saying, I do not rejoice in this man's death. If I could snap my finger right now, I would snap my finger and bring Charlie Kirk back to life. Because I don't see anything about him that's worthy of losing his life like that. His wife shouldn't have to see that. His children are going to eventually see it. I think that was effed up. But that does not keep me from saying, I didn't like this about him, and I think this right here thing that he did was bad towards the black community. I walk in a code. I walk inside of a code, and you should too.
They ain't ready for that conversation.
Hey, Hampton been down here snapped, and Hampton said you may think integration is the answer, but that's the reason why America will fall, because of their integration.
No, America's gonna fall for other reasons.
Yeah. I barely read the bottom part. I thought he was going to say, listen, the truth of the matter, for the success of the black community, we never should have integrated, because we would have been forced to continue performing and building our own black Wall Streets and our own hospitals and things like that. Once we integrated, we saw that, okay, we can use white people's hospital, we can use white people's grocery stores, things like that. And it threw us up off of our mission. That's why we don't have any of those things today.
Facts. But nah, it's like this, man. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say about Charlie Kirk, because I don't think he's worth much more of my conversation.
Nuts.
Dude did not deserve to die. You know what I'm saying? He did not deserve to get his life taken. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't encourage anybody to do it. I don't condone it. I don't like it.
Give me 1 second, ZF. I'm just finished up. Shout out to Tiny over here in this situation with the super chat. Black woman fatigued, past tense. That's real. Shout out to RBNs up in this situation rocking with us. The most dangerous place for a black person is in the imagination of a white man. Charlie Kirk was prime example, but that still don't mean he should have been deleted. I agree. Go ahead,
Damn, I was
Zf.
just about to say something along those lines. I
Go
was
ahead,
literally
Zf.
just about to say something along those lines. Even when it's not us, and they know it's not us, they got to involve us because we live rent free in their fucking heads. You know what I'm saying? That dude that shot Charlie Kirk, he wasn't black. The I can promise you, the
They've already
overwhelming
showed
odds are that
pictures.
that
They've
dude
already
wasn't black.
showed pictures of it. They caught. They. I
Right.
think they know
So
exactly who it is. They caught him walking down the street, sky cam. You know how you bootleg a rifle in your pants?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So check this out though. We didn't have nothing to do with that. Black people couldn't have planned it. Black people couldn't have financed it. None of that.
Hundred
But
percent.
who gets the backlash? Because we live rent free in a fucking head, and that is a dangerous place to be in this country. And you see the fallout already. They threatening college kids. They
That's
they they around here
crazy,
threatening college
bro.
kids who wasn't even in the state. They in a whole different state.
That's
Bruh, we live rent
crazy.
free in their head, and that's a dangerous place to be in this motherfucker. But hey, you know what I mean? Look, if that nobody really wants that. Even the people that say they want that don't want that. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
listen. Unc said I haven't seen any backlash from that towards the African American community. No, not one. Bro, there's about 5 HBCUs that got bomb threats today, bro.
I think it's eight, and three of them closed. Three of them closed campus today
Yeah, unless you want to
because
consider that a coincidence or something.
Hampton, Hampton, Bethune Cookman, Southern. There's like five more that got bomb threats. That got either bomb or shooting threats today because a white dude took out another white dude. Bruh, look, let it go. We don't sit here and talk about y'all like that. Believe me,
Yeah,
it
that's
ain't that
crazy
serious.
too, because we really, really don't. I'm talking about for decades. I don't think that's ever been our history. We don't.
Yeah, we over here focused. We over here focused on our problems, trying to fix them, and y'all worried about us, bro. Let's not look. Let's not pull out facts. Let's not even go there. I don't want to start an information war, a real life war, a gender war, none of that. Everybody stay the fuck in your lane and leave the next person alone.
Hey, hold on. My bro Doobie said, man, brother, I truly appreciate and respect the topic, but my son was unalive last night in Gary, and I'm in Minnesota right now with my hands tied. I'm reaching out for help. So can I please get your attention? Hey, brother, man, that's very unfortunate, man, and I'm definitely sorry to hear that, brother.
Man, my deepest
And,
condolences. As a dad, I couldn't even imagine, bro.
yeah, man.
Like I'm not gonna pretend to know what you're going through. I'm not gonna um I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say a bunch of shit I don't mean. But if you need to talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying, DM me and I will hit you back. Like you're going through some real shit right now,
Hold on, man. This brother
and
crash. Hold on, see if this brother crashing out or something. You in that chain smoking motherfucker, lame ass. Fuck y'all talking about dumb shit.
man, crash out on these nuts, nigga. Fuck you.
I'm gonna go ahead and ban him. That was crazy. Hope you lose more followers. God gave you a platform to help people. Shaking my head. Niggas ain't shit. I don't know.
Man,
That was
fuck you.
crazy crash out.
Go deep throw the cactus, nigga.
If all colored folks moved back to Africa, we could lay off 90% of the police force, public transportation. But listen, America would fall then.
Well, that's bullshit.
You wouldn't have anybody to
Statistically, that's
you wouldn't have anybody to suck resources from. What would you do then?
stati- the
You'd
stats
have
say
to
that's
rely on
bullshit.
your own talents.
The stats say that's bullshit because y'all commit 59% of the violent crime according to the FBI, and the nonviolent crime even higher percentage. So no, you lying motherfucker, shut your dumb ass up, stupid.
Hey, listen, Go back to Africa and bring your people with you. Nobody wants your violent culture in this white country. Well,
Man,
give us about 20 more years. The truth of the matter is, this is already not a white country.
man, first of all, y'all brought us over here and didn't keep the receipt, so you stuck with us, bitch. Fuck you, broke motherfucker, sitting here listening to black dudes tell the truth about something and complaining. Man, if you don't kiss the blackest part of my ass and go deep throat a cactus,
You essentially described Charlie Kirk. He lost his life knowing he could die defending Christianity. I don't understand that.
whatever. But to my bro that lost his son last night, hey, my DMs are open, man. If you need to talk, um, DM me. You know what I mean? I'll stay up with you all night if I got to. Like dead ass. I'm a father. I honestly can't imagine what you're going through, and I'm not going to pretend to, but I will listen. But hey, Stacy, I'm a drop. Take
You
my ass
already
home.
know I
I got
appreciate you, my guy. Do your
all
thing,
right
man. You know we're gonna rock out again tomorrow, man.
for sure. Hey, I won't be here tomorrow. It's my anniversary. I'm gonna take the wife out. We gonna chill. But hey, you be safe, stay dangerous. I'll see you later this week.
You already know it, bro. You take care. GG Watson, shout out to you. I like Prince, but he's wrong on this day. Well, you know, I always welcome anybody to come up. There's always a link down there. Anybody who believes that they can prove something that I said wrong, you're always welcome to come up. We stand on business around here. People alive today aren't responsible for the past history. Okay, so I'm not even a proponent for reparations, but why did the Jews get reparations? Moon Daddy. I'm not even going to get into systematic racism because I say that we have to battle our way out of whatever we're in. I don't have a victim mentality, so I just know how to win. Good bro. How you feeling?
Oh man, shit, I'm hanging out like a beach towel right now, Playboy.
No
You
doubt,
dig?
no doubt. Good stuff,
I,
good stuff.
I
Talk
just
to me.
I just
What's your
want I just wanted
thoughts?
to really tap into the show, man, and just let you know, man, you doing a bang up job. You dig what I'm saying? You've really been a motivation for us brothers. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of keep our tennis shoes tight. You dig what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. No doubt.
So
I appreciate it,
I didn't come
my guy.
here to contest nothing. I just want to give you a big hand clap salute to you in the chat and say, yo, keep doing your thing, brother.
You already know. Much love, my guy. But you know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy? I'm not crazy, but the levels of racism that we experience today, it's been a long time since, I bumped into a concentrated wall of it like that. Of course, we know it never went anywhere, but it's always like soon as there's a disagreement between if a black person doesn't agree with a white, that stuff is it's a heck of an observation. It's a heck of an experience. You know what I mean? It's almost like we can get along with you. Shut up and keep dribbling the ball. Long as you shut up and keep dribbling the ball, right? We don't want to hear any opposition. We don't want to hear any critique about what we do wrong. Keep talking about black people like you do. That's what we want to hear. Crazy work. You better know it, Hampton. You better know it. You better know it. Fact. Hey, Unc down there spitting that game too. Unc down there talking that talk. Unc said, you better care about the Jews. That's where that power is at. Hey, I agree, Hampton. I agree, man. Who was smoking? I don't smoke. Hey, Tiny, who was ZF don't smoke, I don't think. What you talking about smoking? Hey, Instagram, I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Listen, I don't usually go live, but for those of you who want to stay locked in with us, we're live every day on YouTube at The Real Stacey Prince. So rock on with us. I appreciate you guys. In 1952, an American white man said on camera that the state of Israel is going to fuel the race war between white and black. I don't preach hate. I don't preach division. I'm just saying you have every right to be proud of who you are too. Know that. Know that. You don't have to be afraid to rock the boat because one of your views or opinions may different from somebody else's. Listen, I probably lost like by now. It's probably seven. I don't give a damn. I have bigger things going on than Instagram. Give a damn about losing those 700, even 1,000, even 3,000. I don't give a damn. To stay the course, to maintain my integrity, you think I'm going to go back? You think I'm going to take that video down? A video that I believe, a video that came from my sincere beliefs. You think I'm going to listen, I could take that video down right now and stop the bleeding. People wouldn't have anything to see and then stop unsubscribing to me. I wish I would. Everybody who is not of that cloth, I need them off of my channel. I need you gone. Right? I need to see the racism that came out today. I need to see all that. But listen, Instagram, I appreciate you. Hey, Unc, you know better than that. We standing on business over here, bro, for real. Black people are so messed up, man. So messed up. Shout out to my bro Mike in this situation. You already know what it is. ZF was smoking. ZF smokes? I gotta go back and watch this. Stacey, I dig your show. I saw somebody earlier say something about some smoke or something. Yeah, man. You know, hey, Unc, talk that talk. Unc said it's not only black people, it's Hispanic people, it's white people. Systematic racism is poison to us all. That's a fact. Look how dope the world is when that stuff isn't present. The last guy was smoking. Okay. Hey, I appreciate you guys always letting me know too. The you guys helping me keep the quality of the show up. That's what it's all about. Jeremiah said America is moving towards two societies. Yeah, it's about to get rough, people. This is biblical prophecy taking place right before our eyes. You can come on, Unc, but I don't see nothing that you've I didn't see anything that I disagree with that you said. Unc.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey man, tell me how your day was, man.
My day is great, thank God.
That's what I'm talking about. Talk to me.
I commented earlier on your video with the Charlie Kirk thing, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I said so that there's no misconception. I said that you should stick to discrediting women because I did say that, and I said it in not in anger, but in concern, mostly in concern, because I'm just tired of all of it.
Right. I can understand that.
I'm tired of all of it. People shouldn't die for their opinions. People have the right to speak their mind.
Yeah, but did you listen? I want to ask you this. I don't mean to interrupt you.
I did listen.
Yeah, that's the first 10
and
seconds
I heard
of
what
the
you
show.
said in the beginning. I did hear what you said in the beginning, and I listened to it like 3 or 4 times. Okay, and I sincerely apologize.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Because I just got home a few minutes ago, and then I saw the that you were on, and I said, you know what? Let me listen to this guy. I never actually heard him live. I never heard him say anything but from what I hear in the clips.
Right.
And it's not fair to say something or leave a comment without knowing anything about the person you're speaking to.
I can appreciate that.
And so what I did was I listened for a little while, and I'm hearing you, and I'm like, you got a lot of points, and I did disagree with Charlie Kirk, 75% of the time.
Right.
I'm not, but his faith and what he was doing was really what kept me watching.
Right, no doubt about it.
And kept going, and as soon as it happened, I opened up my phone and I saw, the bullet hit his neck.
That was very unfortunate, man, because one thing that I respect, like I don't respect his views towards the black community, but I really respect his views towards his faith, man. I really respect that.
I mean, his faith in God was what really kept me going, because I'm a strong believer in the Lord.
No doubt about it. Me too.
I mean, big time. My brother's a pastor. I mean, I'm not a pastor, but I did want to become a monk when I was younger.
Right.
And I didn't become a monk because I have issues and with the Catholic faith, and at the time this was like 25 years ago, probably more like 30. And it kind of shied me away from actually taking the cloth.
Right.
But as I grew older, I started to understand that I don't need the cloth to speak my words about the Lord.
No doubt. I agree with that 1,000%, man. Let me say this, man. This is a truth right here. When they speak up on the rock, stuck between a rock and a hard spot, listen, a lot of these conversations, they are tough to have. That's why most people would prefer to shy away from the conversations. And even if they have an opinion about something, they'll, because I know I'll get some flack back from that. But I consider myself to be a leader, brother. I consider myself to be an innovator. I consider myself to be a visionary. I do not have the luxury of keeping quiet as it pertains to my beliefs, because my beliefs are as what going to help me exact the visions that God had given me, right? I definitely understand how that could be. Yeah, and that's where I'm at, brother. Like, I have to stand on business. There's a lot of people who respect me. There's a lot of people who look to the information that I have to sometimes get them through today. So I have to stand on business even in front of them. If there's other people who believe in me, I gotta believe in me. You know what I mean? And I gotta keep trailblazing. A lot of people view Charlie Kirk as their hero. I don't have any qualms with that. A lot of people
Well, I
viewed
mean,
him as
I
their
don't know
sense.
about the
Hold
hero
on, hold
part,
on.
but
A lot of people view Charlie Kirk as their source of inspiration and things like that. Brother, first and foremost, God is that for me. But secondly, it's me. I don't need a hero. God has given me the vision. God has given me my path. So that's
amen.
why I can move around undisturbed and unswayed and unmoved. That's why I move like I move. I don't care about losing 10,000 subscribers. I am on a mission. I have a thing to accomplish. So I will speak even sometimes when it's in the midst of tough and sensitive conversations. That's just, how it has to be.
But isn't that the point, though, to have open debate and and not catch a bullet for it?
I agree with like that. I think nobody saw that coming, man.
Nobody.
Yeah, and I hate that his daughter and his wife is going to have to see that. That's going to be.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to religion in itself, we need to bring back religion. We need to bring back God.
Listen, I'm not a Trump supporter. But that's one
fine.
thing that he said that I agree with. Listen, I'm a man of logic. I am a man of logic. I can name you right now 3 things that Trump supports that I am against, that I disagree with. But that doesn't mean that I can't see 3 or 4 other things that he supports that I do support. And that's where we have to get out of. We have to get out of the mindset of, this Democrat versus Republicans, liberals, and all of this stuff. If we see one stance of a person's, we disqualify them in an entirety. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I would like to be judged by my character, not by
right.
not by anything else.
Right.
I mean, integrity and having a good sense of being a good person is what should move a person.
I agree.
You want to be moved by the person you listen to. You want to be moved by strength and honor. And I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Creole said many people have a lot of bigotry in them because of the environment we grew up in. And
listen, I grew up in the
Bronx. Hold on. And because of the environment we grew up in and the people who influenced them. That is 100% correct. That's an issue. And see, a lot of people don't want to admit this. Listen, what that 1980s crack epidemic did to the black community, it is what you guys see today. Like those of us who know about it and seen it and walked in it and lived in it and have family members, moms and dads it took mothers and Charlie Kirk said this, and this is what he was right about. Charlie Kirk said the decimation of the black community is the fatherless homes. But I think either what he didn't know or what he didn't want to acknowledge, when white America pumped that drug through our communities, I watched it with my own eyes. It took law-abiding mothers, law-abiding fathers, librarians, ministers, superintendents. It turned them into zombies. I watched it with my own eyes. Women who we've always respected and looked up to. Hey, Miss Smith. Now next month we're hearing, Miss Smith is giving blowjobs for that stuff, right? And not only that, outside of the addiction aspect of it, they gave our moms and our dads 40 and 70 years in prison for touching the drug, right? So in that aspect, a lot of black children were born without any type of structure, without any type of development, without any type of... As children, when we grow, we go through developmental stages, cognitive thinking, problem solving, right? Things like critical thinking skills. But those things have to be nurtured in a safe environment. A lot of black people didn't have that. A lot of black people grew up inside the sense of urgency, not having the bare necessities that sustain us in life, right? And so what happens is those children whose mom got taken away and their father got taken away, they were forced to raise themselves through trial and error. And we know the boogeyman that waits in those streets of trial and error a lot of times. And then once they had children, they didn't have what was needed to teach their children. So their children grew up in single parent homes and their children grew up. And we have generation after generation after generation of broken human beings. I will never dispute with anybody Black people demonstrate some of the most egregious behavior that is on this planet, and you can see a significant portion of it in our women. We know what women are supposed to resemble: soft, delicate, feminine, right? Classy. Our women will tell you they will fuck you up, will beat your ass, right? A large percentage of our women have multiple children by multiple men. I acknowledge all of these things. The issue that I took up with Charlie Kirk is he would say those things about the fatherless epidemic in the black community, but tell why it happened. We had significant help getting the way we got. You'll never hear me discredit anyone who says African Americans are practicing broken human being behavior. But listen, right before 1970, we were married at an 80% rate. Our children were turning out beautifully. Yes, our children were turning out beautifully. We had a solid family structure intact. So you have to ask yourself, what happened to that? Those things happened. Yes, yes. And look at us now. We still haven't recovered from it. So I don't knock it when people call us out. Yes, yes, yes. And then on top of that,
it's this generation that's going to, the children that are coming up now are the ones that are supposed to be taking care of us when we get older. And I don't think they're going to be capable or even have the knowledge or the foresight to even go forth with taking care of anything.
They won't.
Look, okay, we're doomed. Look
who's raising the children. We have children having children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the black community is messed up. None of us deny that. Look at my content. Look at my show. I stay on black people's heads. But I'm also a defender of black people too. I'm a defender of all of my brothers and sisters. It's not just black people. Here's what I rock with. Here's what I rock with. I rock with love. And you can see who loves you and who doesn't. It's very evident. You can hear it in their conversations. That's why if Charlie Kirk had ever named some of the decent things about black people, or if he had ever conveyed his desire to see us in a better place, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. But all I heard was condemnation, 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 condemnation. Well, we had help getting where we got to now. Significant amount of help, which is why they know what the crack epidemic did to us when they pipelined that drug through our communities, which is why in the last 15 years, when the white community experienced the opioid epidemic, they instantly took it and decriminalized it and turned it into a health matter. So now
that's a fact.
Yeah, so now they can't get the time that black people got for touching that drug. Now they get medical treatment. Things like that.
It was a war on crime then, and now it's a freaking crisis because white people are doing drugs now, more drugs than black and Hispanic people. I mean, now it's a crisis. I mean, this should have been a crisis then.
Exactly. That is my listen. Satellite Gravity said just made a hell of a point. Absolutely. Charlie Kirk was an intelligent guy. He knew that, but turned a blind eye. That's what I had a problem with. That's what I had a problem with. I know Charlie Kirk was very intelligent, especially at 31 years old. So the fact that I know that you're intelligent and I know that you know how the black community got the way it is, but you're withholding that part and just accusing us of fatherless homes. No, tell how our homes got so fatherless. Right. And then I'll respect you. I'll respect that.
I mean, I thank God that my father was with me all my life, and my parents, been together for like 55 years, and when growing up in New York, in the Bronx, I'll tell you, out of 10 homes, maybe 3 had fathers.
Right. Listen, look what Creole just said. Creole said, and the promiscuous behavior that black women practice comes directly from lack of fathers being in the home and mothers being on survival mode and leaning on the government for societal pressures. 100%. See, that's why I can condemn black women but still love them at the same time, because I know what happened, so I have the information that allows me to have empathy when I see them acting a complete fool. They didn't just wake up one day and said, I want to be looked down upon in society. I want to have multiple children by multiple men. They got broken at high levels. But I don't like it when people just look at us and say, those are terrible people. No, you're turning a blind eye to what the world knows happened to us. The Prime Minister of Israel accused America of genocide as it pertains to black people. And it's terrible. And then people say we're victim thinking, and no, we know what happened to us. We saw
It's
it.
not victim thinking at all. It's anger over what has been done.
Everybody saw this happen
in real time. I mean, from 1983 to 1998.
100%.
Okay, has been this supposed war on drugs. Okay, because it was a minority group, because it was black, because it was Hispanic, and when white people started doing drugs, they made homes for them. They gave them
That's what I'm
needles.
telling
They
you,
gave
man.
them places that they can do their freaking drugs. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
This is
This
what
is
I'm telling you.
all of that stuff, all of those resources could have been used in the like 88, 89, and 90.
Listen,
Okay, to save the communities. But what do I know?
Satellite just agreed with something you said. Satellite Gravity said, you can't but help but to wonder why he never acknowledged that side of the truth
Well, of
as
course he
well.
wouldn't
That's
acknowledge
the
it because
issue that I
it would
had.
bring him down. It would
That's
bring his message down. Okay, if you acknowledge the true fact that of destroying the black and Hispanic nuclear family, okay, and you start bringing that out to the world, the message that he was trying to bring will go down. Because now he's trying to be for everybody. Well, you'll get one asshole to start complaining about it, and then that disease will start festering all over the place. And he had to stay on message. He had to stay on white message.
100%.
And the white message was to bring the white community back to where it was.
Exactly.
And that's not the truth. The truth is if you're going to work for the community, you work for all communities or none.
I agree. And that's the issue that I take up. Like the post that I put out about Charlie Kirk. Listen, I would have I agree with some of Charlie Kirk's
some of it, the religious
like
stuff,
that.
I believe.
Yeah, I also agree. His stance on same-sex marriage and things. I agree with that stuff. But when I know that you're intelligent enough to know the truth, it forces me to ask you, why are you withholding the truth? And the only answer that I can come up with is, you must be hiding it to make us look worse than what we really are. You have to be doing it like that.
Why if he would have stood, if he would have preached that message, the message that we're talking right now,
I agree.
Okay, it would have brought down his message, because now he's working for the black and Hispanic community. Now he's trying to save them,
right.
And and his fight was just to bring up a one particular community instead of bringing all communities up. And that's a problem for me, because if I was to do that, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with doing that, and I'm intelligent enough to do so.
Somebody said,
I know I would die immediately.
And unfollow. Although honestly, I don't remember pressing the follow. Listen, I need everybody to understand this. I've been doing this for 3.5 years. Anybody who does not see any value in my channel, I encourage you to not only unfollow, but block. I encourage that. Now, I don't know what you think is going to happen. I'm going to lose some type of, I don't know. This show is 3.5 years old. We've been doing this. We have an agenda that's bigger than social media, right? So those of you who feel like this is not the channel for you, I hold no ill against you. This is not the channel for you. There's another channel somewhere for you. But listen, brother, I appreciate you coming up. I got to get up and walk the dog on out.
I appreciate it, man. And once again, I do apologize for that comment.
Good.
I mean, it wasn't bad,
love. Nothing but love.
I know, and I'm glad that I spoke to you, and I'm glad I didn't unfollow, because this was an important thing, and God puts people in people's lives for a season or reason.
I agree.
Thank you again.
You take care, man.
Thank you, sir. I don't know how to get out of here.
I'm over here. I got you, I think. I'm over here like the same. The hell? I think they're in the same boat. Okay. I appreciate you, Creole. And unfollow. Ain't that a hey man, listen. If you don't want to go through the trouble of unfollowing me, just drop a 2 in the chat and I'll block you. How about that? Okay, boy, black. If you believe that's what I said, come on up. Go ahead and click the link below. Let's talk about it. How can you believe? Let me see. How can you be a strong believer of Christ but tell people cheating is anything but wrong? Cheating is most definitely wrong. You lose slabs of in your integrity when you do, but first and foremost, you sinned against God. But let's not take my word for it. When the Bible speaks of, is there any reason for divorce? The scripture says, yes, saving for one, and that is infidelity. But guess what it says right up under that? But I would that you did not. Now, for this one thing, I will give you an out of a marriage, but I would prefer that you did not. See, oftentimes we get caught up doing what we want to do, and it shouldn't be in a commandment. Even if he gives you an out, even if you find out that he would desire you didn't do it, that's another level of you showing him how much you love him. See, because God knows everything. The Lord our God, Jehovah, knows everything, and he sees everything. Do you know why it's better for us to not leave? Now, I'm not saying an infinite cheater. I tell women, if you have children by a man, if you have already built a foundation with a man, if this really is starting to look like the man who really is going to see you through to the end of your days, that man who's going to be in your life later on down the line, when the doctor comes in and tells you that he's found a lump in your breast, when they come and tell you that you've been diagnosed with this, when they come and tell you that 3 toes have to be cut off. If you have a man that you really do believe can be depended upon for a long-term life relationship, if you catch that man cheating 2 or 3 times, it would be foolish to leave him. Because what are you going to do? Get back out there on the dating highway and deal with the devil you don't know, opposed to the devil that you did know, the man that you had children with, the man who you know what his draws look like when there's streaks in them, the man who already has agreed to deal with your bull crap humor, even though you're not funny and you tell crazy jokes, he laughs at them anyway. The man who's already pledged to see you through to the end of life. Why on earth would you leave that man for infidelity? Get back out there on the dating highway and see if you can find a man to replace him, taking those 2 kids that you guys have in tow. We've seen both of these scenarios play out, and one works significantly better than the other. When our grandmother stayed in relationships, even though our grandfathers occasionally dipped out, they lived in the same homes for 60 and 80 years, and after they passed, they had property to pass on down to us. Did you know that property is the gateway to generational wealth? Look what's taking place now that women are talking about. If a man cheats, it's over. The African American women are the most evicted group of women on the planet. They have multiple children by multiple men. The alternative that they have chosen is not better than the ones that our grandmother chose. And see, I'm going to say this. Regardless of how you feel about me, I encourage you guys. Oftentimes I see you guys come on here and you try to find flaws in my information or find flaws in my character, things of that nature. Trust me when I say this. This information can help you change your life like it did mine. I am nowhere close to the man that I used to be. It comes from reading. It comes from petitioning to the Lord our God, Jehovah. It comes from seeking a better way and being willing to put the work in to execute the better way and get the results of executing it. Oftentimes, people come up here and want to be quick to poke holes in the information, be dismissive, be attacking of me personally. Ask yourself, does the information sound crazy? And take it from there. Take it from there. Listen, Creole said leaving him could be the worst gamble. It usually is the worst gamble. We have saw both of these play out when our grandmothers were more patient. Listen, my grandfather was a chronic cheater. He did it like, my grandmother stayed in the same house until her dying days. She had a husband, a protector. If he was cheating, Men still knew that that man's name was attached to her, and everybody. Listen, I have a huge family. They built a legacy, a dynasty, a family tree together, right? When my grandmother caught cancer and passed, I watched that same cheating man spoon feed that woman to her last day in her home, not a nursing home. You guys are gambling with the Grim Reaper. Look at all of your single friends, and I'm talking about the ones who are kind of chronically single. Can we all admit that they're usually single for years, 5, 10, and 15 years at a time? That's no way to live life. That's why other communities are whooping us crazy. Because we have a group of women who are talking about, I'm independent, I don't need no man, but we're competing against people who are moving inside of the function of teams. Husband and wife. Yes, they're going to have less problems paying the mortgage. Yes, they're going to have less likelihood of being behind on the car payments, because where one fell short, the other picks up the slack. You guys adopted a broken human being mentality. You're the only group of women wandering around talking about, I don't need a man. AI is about to prove you wrong. 300,000 African-American women just lost their jobs and don't know what their next move is. I don't need a man is going to be the last thing you'll be heard saying. It'll be the last thing you'll be heard saying. Listen, Miss Creole, she is one of the women that needs to speak more in the black community. People need to pay more attention to her. I want you to know what this woman said. I lost a good husband because I was out partying constantly with my single friends. Other women wouldn't dare admit that truth. But when other people hear it, they can learn from it. To hear another woman say that, there's other women who could be looking at this right now who can learn from it. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. I lost 600, probably 700, 800 subscribers today by now. I want you guys to know something. Because my channel was geared towards dating, better dating solutions, and, the things that are holding the black community down, holding black women accountable, holding black men accountable. I didn't know that my channel had attracted so many racists. I didn't know, but I can understand that. I didn't even know how many white subscribers that I have. That doesn't mean all of my white subscribers are racist. Some of them are probably there for the dating information, right? But when people saw my post that I put up today, I saw the racism. And I didn't even know I had that many subscribers, like I said. But it helped me to understand why they were there in the first place. They like to see me going at black women's tops. They like to see me going at black men's tops, right? It was entertainment for them. But I submit to you guys this. This content and this channel is not for everybody. This is to help us do better. This is to help us get better. It's to help us start telling truths that other people who may be watching can see, learn from, and not have to go down the trial and error road on their own. I appreciate that, Miss Creole. Yeah. This whole thing is about betterment. Listen, I lost so many subscribers today. I welcome it. Anybody who can't take truth is where correction starts. Anybody who can't take truth, I don't want them on my channel. This is a channel about growth and development. That's what this is about, being a better version of who we are. My slogan when we would start the show 3 years ago, I would start out doing better than we did yesterday. That's the goal of this show, because we can do better. We just got to listen, right? We have to come into contact with the right information, the information that has a proven track record, right? And then allow others to help inspire us into executing the information so we can start resembling a better version of ourselves. That's the goal. I don't give a damn if I lose 3,000 more subscribers. I don't care about that. They weren't supposed to be here. And I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about anybody who finds no value in my platforms. You're not supposed to be here. What even led you here? Right? If there's a couple of more people want to come up, I'll take a couple of questions. You know what I mean? You could be disagreements that you have with me, long as we keep it respectful. It could be disagreements you have with me or whatever. Before we shut down, I'll take another couple of people. Hey, listen. Boy Black said women are single because they're having a hard time submitting to God, prioritizing self and vanity. They have proclivity towards want to usurp a man. 5,000%. The scriptures teach directly against that. The scriptures go so far to say I usurped a woman to not have authority over a man. Woman is not even to teach, right? She is not to speak in church, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in church, and if she is to learn, let her learn at home from her husband. You know why those things are put in place? Because you guys' biology was programmed to be followers. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're following somebody who has your best interest at hand, right? But once you get wrapped up in America, American can find ways to profit from you being a follower, and they can have you following very bad things that end in self-destruction, right? And that's what has happened with the African-American woman. A lot of you are going to churches where you don't have the wherewithal to say to yourself, that offering plate has been around 3 times now. The pastors are getting over on you. Some of you are even bedding the pastors. But guess when the pastors wouldn't be able to get over on you? If you were in the worship center sitting right next to your husband. It's why you were created. You were created for men. Is why you were created. And is why you see such chaos in the black community today. Because I want you to think about it like this. Do you think it's a coincidence that the largest group of unmarried women in America have the most chaos going on in their lives? Chaos comes to a minimum when you have a man in your life, implementing structure, implementing discipline and leadership. A lot of you have high body counts that you wouldn't have even had if you had yielded to a man quite some time ago. Some of you have contracted herpes that you wouldn't have even had you yielded to a man, not a handsome man, not an amazing man, but a decent man several years ago. It would have kept, a man will keep you from bumping into the things in life that we're not supposed to bump into. Right. Sounds like, okay, I think they know who they're looking for. Hey, listen, Creole, I want you to follow my channel on YouTube, The Real Stacey Prince. What I often do is there are men who reach out to me who are single, and there are women who reach out to me who are single, and I usually, DJ. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But men and women reach out to me who are single. So there's been a few times where I have put people in contact with each other based on what I already know about them, right? But listen, we're about to get up out of here, people. I appreciate you guys rocking with us, Instagram. We're going to do this again tomorrow. You guys take care. Listen, I'm going to go see. I hope I lost even more subscribers. I only want the ones here who are supposed to be here. You need to know this about me. You need to know this about me. Take it down a couple of more thousand. How about that? You need to know this about me. Stand on business over here. Boy, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Miriam, I appreciate you guys for rocking out with us today. Hey, I'm going to tell you something that the brother Kenneth said that I think is relevant, and I just discovered this today. Many of them listen to your program to gather information about what's going on in the black community so that they can use it against us just for debating purposes. I didn't even know. Listen, I had a ton of racists that were following me. We need to knock about 2-3 more thousand of that off of there. I appreciate you guys giving me your input too. It's all valuable information. It's all valuable information. Damn, we didn't have no show contributors today, and we've been up here for 3 hours. Where are my show contributors? Shout out to Tiny in this situation for putting that business down with the super chat. Threw the fire up in this situation. Yeah. Through the fire, yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's real. I like that. Where are my show supporters? We didn't even meet our nightly. What the heck is this? The hot water. Tonight's show is going to be kind of lit. Listen, I lost like 600 subscribers on TikTok, Instagram today. You know I don't care, right? That's kind of strange. My microphone was not. Listen, people, listen. What am I going to eat today, people? Well, I know it's tonight, but somebody give me some good suggestions. I haven't eaten. There she is. There she is. Creole Belle up in this situation. You already know. You know what? We're going to vibe out a little bit. We're going to vibe out and just chop it up a little bit before we end this thing. Here's what I want to lay on you guys before we depart tonight. We need help more than anyone does. In the African American community, we need help more than anyone does. We can't even afford to be in a place where we're scared to voice our true opinions on the things that we do and don't agree with. We really have to start being honest first internally with ourselves, especially our women, because our women are in a state of being by themselves. And it's really hard to get outside of the breakage that's already inside of you when you have nobody helping you. The late, great Kevin Samuel said this. He was a very big proponent of therapy, going to get therapy, right? And I salute that. But I often tell people that if you had a significant other, all of the damage that is taking place inside of you, all of the things that you have going on inside of you that is preventing you from being everything that you can be, preventing you from having all of the things that people are supposed to have at a certain stage in life, you're missing an individual with you. That's why we're being outcompeted against by every other demographic of people. Because our women are talking about, I don't need a man, single by choice, independent woman, all of those things. And other people are moving in the format of teams, husband and wife. They're bringing 2 paychecks in a household versus our women. Shout out to my bro up in this situation. Shout out to Kenneth over here in this situation, setting it all for us, helping us get closer to our nightly goal. I appreciate it. Now we gotta drop bombs for my brother. You guys know our 10 and overs get the bombs dropped on it, right? Shout out to my bro Kenneth in this situation for supporting the show. Much love to you, much love. Listen, we have to stay in a perpetual state of growing and doing better. And listen, ladies, I want you to understand this. You've been lied to. You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. Nothing can replace a man. Nothing can. The way that a woman grows when she's attached to a decent man, not an amazing man, not a gorgeous man, not a super handsome man, a decent man, the confidence that you feel, even when you're away from him, knowing that you have an attachment on the other side of town or wherever you live, your whole life begins to change. Everything that you believe in begins to change. Your stance on life begins to change because your life changes. You guys need to go above and beyond the call of duty to attach yourself to a decent man. And how you do that, ladies, is this. You have to surrender. All of this independent feminism thing, you guys got to give that up. It's over for that stuff. Men have showed you that they won't accept that. They'll even parry off to different races who have more submissive and cooperative women. I'm going to go so far as to say this. Ladies, you should even be tired of carrying the load of the world. You should be tired of it. You should desire to be in a state of shutting the F up and just following his lead. You should be tired of the burden of making all of the major decisions of life by yourself. Do you know how dope it is for him to say, hey, babe, nah, he sees you on the Amazon app. Hey, babe, nah, we good on that. You know, we've spent too much money already this week. You won't be responsible for making all of your decisions alone anymore, which will minimize the amount of bad decisions that you can make. You won't have to spend your entire paycheck on rent, car payment, and groceries anymore because you'll have somebody else who's bringing a paycheck in that house as well. Life itself won't be as heavy on you, which is why a lot of African American women are kind of irritating to be around. Rude, obnoxious, unruly. It's because you guys divorced African American men and married the American government. And then he abandoned you. Some of you are in your late 30s and on up to 50 years old. So your dating value has decreased significantly. Some of you have 3 children by 3 different men. Some of you have 2 children by 2 different men. Your dating value has decreased. So whereas you used to be pretty attractive, your boobs used to be perky, your vajayjay used to be tight, your butt used to be this, your body used to be that, a lot of those things have changed. A lot of those things have changed. Now your dating money that you have left to purchase your future husband or that man who's going to see you through to the end of life, it's how cooperative you are, how easy you are to be around, how desirable you are in the eyes of this man that would make him more apt to sacrifice all of his other dating options and stick with you. That's where you're at. That smart mouth that you have, that smart mouth that you've developed due to going through this relationship, that one, this not ending right, that not ending right, the baby, get on your kids getting on your nerves, raising the kids by yourself, cleaning the house, all of these things. You don't know, but you've attached pieces of bitterness to you. Smart mouth, things like that. You need to hand that over to a capable man. And I mean hand it over to him. That man that you start dating, don't think that you can take him for granted because your time is pretty much up. Your dating options are limited. You should hand that man a box. And when he unties it, what he gets is your smart mouth and your unruly behavior. It's called a surrender. Other than that, you'll die alone. You'll die alone. All of the most difficult times that we face as humans, as we live this journey as we go through this journey called life, you will have to deal with the most uncomfortable aspects of this journey by yourself while everybody else has somebody helping them out. Just something to think about, people. Just something to think about. And on that note, if we are nothing else, people, we're out of here. Shout out to Malik.